What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another drawing tutorial. Today we're going to be drawing Eren with his hand up, bleeding. You know that scene where he meets Mikasa and Armin, and he just goes, "Hey guys," and he's got like a bleeding hand, and he looks like really depressed. So, right, let's go. So, real close up on his face. Okay, I'm on a landscape orientation page. Use a pencil and hit pause if I go too fast. Pencil and eraser, and then you can always do ink after you do your pencil. Okay, right, so we start with the eyes. So his head's over sort of to the right just to fit in the hand on here, so we're not like bang in the middle, but center point of my page about here, just for reference, and we go over. We're going to go over a little bit from the center and down, just because we've got a tilted head, okay? And we'll start with his eyelid, and they're real big, right? So we'll go diagonal up and then across like that. And we want to thicken this up a fair bit, right? So right, adding a good amount of thickness now. Okay, so that's what we're going for. That's the kind of eye. And then spikes down here at the back, and you thicken this up as well. So, and then the bottom eyelid line, sort of curve across, just here. And it doesn't tend to join; it just stays separate, just there. Then his iris, half circle underneath there, and we're going to thicken up the edge of this as well. Like so. And then his iris, just in there, black. Okay. So, right. So then, we'll do his eyebrow. It's like real big, so it's like up here. Like so, kind of bumps across, and then up, and then down. Like so. And he can have texture lines inside that. Like so. And then his eyelid line will come underneath and down. Like so. So he looks absolutely, as we say in Ireland, shattered. So he's got like lots of little detail lines around his eyes. So like really tired, you know, they're really trying to show that he's just, you know, given up, I guess. And, you know, he's got lines on the side of his face here. Right? Right, so we've got those vertical lines coming down, but I'll do them after we draw the next one. So we're over here. We're nearly eye width. I'd say the white of his eye, right, will fit in between. Just because the eyelashes are so sort of thick, I would leave it as just this sort of white section of his eye will fit in between his two eyes. So it's nearly eye distance across, but not quite. It's pretty close though. If you aim for that, you won't be going too wrong. It won't look weird. If you did do eye distance, I mean, you'd just be starting in here a little bit, but it's just the white of his eye. Right, so then we come across, like so. We'll thicken this up a little bit. So now, see, we're diagonal, right? So, you know, we're not straight, diagonal, that way. And then curved line for the back of his eye, there. And we just thicken this up. Right, and then we just leave a little bit of a gap for there. And then his iris, like so. And his pupil, just in underneath. Dark black. And then just, I'm going to thicken up the edge of his eye. Right, and then again, he's shattered. So real tired looking. Add loads of lines, wrinkles, and you know, he's not the young Eren we knew at the start. He's got lots of these wrinkle lines. And then his eyebrow just comes up this way. Really big eyebrows. And some hatching lines there, and then his eyelid line just comes across like so. And then like so. Wrinkles sort of on the edge of his eye. Right, so then we'll draw his nose, and then we'll do those sort of lines that Attack on Titan characters have. So we'll go curved line for his nose going down this way. Over to the left, so imagine like your page is turned, sort of if you wanted to keep it straight, and we're on the left hand side of his face. You know, we're not like right in the middle, there's just a bit of a curvy line, goes down this way. And then we can just see like the edge of his nose here, and then a nostril just there. Like so. Right, so now we can add all those lines, right? So there's lots of them. And it looks like they're really straight. So if you wanted to use a ruler, feel free to do that. And it goes kind of around his eye here, down the other side. Like so, and some here. So this is actually the most I've seen, I think, in an image. It even goes underneath. Usually it's just at the top, but it goes underneath in this one. Alright, so when we do the same thing kind of down here. So I guess we're, yeah, we're like, and they sort of go over his eyelids, so there's a bit of like a gap here. Like so, adding the shadow sort of coming down that way, and then there's like some here. Like so, okay? But in general, that's what we're going for. And there's some actually on the bottom of his nose as well. Real light lines. Like that. Right, so his mouth curving up and down. At the back. Just there. It always reminds me of the handle of a bow and arrow. And we're just like underneath the inside of his eyes, just there. And then his bottom lip. Underneath, top lip. There. And then his chin. Just below that. So again, you could see we're at an angle. We're not straight up. You could turn your page if you were more comfortable drawing it straight, and then turn it back afterwards. But that's generally his face, right? So proportionality, we're standard human proportions. So top eyelid to nose, about the same as nose to chin. So nose is halfway between eyelid here and chin. And then nose to bottom lip, same as bottom lip to chin. So bottom lip line halfway between nose and chin. So that's kind of your standard human proportion. Once you get that, then you can go for his jaw. Like so. Right, you want to stop about mouth level. Just here. And underneath the corner of his eye. And then you start to turn around that corner for his face. He doesn't have a sharp jaw. It's like it's a more round sort of jaw. It gradually turns. It doesn't like suddenly turn. Like so. Right, so sideburn. Just here. Sideburn over here, but you can't see all of it because of his fingers in front of it, so we just put a little one. Right, and then we can see the ear on this side, so it curves out and around. Like so. And easiest way, letter J. So, and then you can add more if you want. And he's got more of those sort of dramatic lines in his ear as well. Okay, so we'll do his hairline. So it's like zigzag, it's all tied back, right? So, but it's long, so it's got like these zigzags coming up the side of his head. Right, and a good rule of thumb, top of his hairline, like top of his forehead to his eyebrows, is about the same as eyebrows to nose. Okay, approximately. So you're about here, right? Here to here, about the same as here to here. And then, you know, you're in kind of thirds then, nearly. You know? But in general, a good one is eyebrow to top of the forehead, same as eyebrow to nose. So once you get that, then we can add some sort of hair spikes coming across here. And every now and then it seems like he has like one or two like coming out and down. Like that, right? So then we go out again and we meet another one. Some more spikes and join it back there. And there might be like a stray one on its own there. I think there's one coming out from his ear here. that. And a couple on the other side as well. One coming down there. One coming down here. Like so. Not too bad. Okay, so the rest of his hair, right? So we got like a bit of a ponytail or something sticking out the back here, kind of tied up around his ear, right? So we got like bumping out here. And this has a couple of hair spikes sticking off, like so. Like that. And then we'll go up the top of his head, right? So the top of his head is going to be here, right? So if you're wondering distances, well, eyebrows to top of the head is about the same as eyebrows to chin. Okay, that distance is about the same. So here to here, about the same as there to there. So the eyebrows are about halfway between top of the head and the chin. There to there, about the same as there to there. Just about, okay? So once you get that, then we can kind of bump around. Because his hair is tied back, this is why we want to bump it, because it's not even when you tie up hair going around the head, right? And we're leaving a gap here because of his finger that comes across. You could draw it in if you wanted and erase it afterwards, but it's easier to just leave the gap. Like so. So we're adding just texture lines now. Right, so then his neck, so it just comes down like so. Comes down here. Neck muscle lines here, comes down just off the bottom of the page. And there, like so. And then we got like more of those sort of hatching lines. They're not like even, they're real distinctive. So you could have like two really close together and then one on its own. They're sort of different to hatching lines you see in most other animes, or, well, a lot of animes don't even include these because I'd say they're a nightmare to animate, to be honest. Right, so then trapezius comes down here, and then his sort of the rest of his hair, long hair, sticks down. And then his sweatshirt or jumper, jacket, whatever you call it, comes down like so behind his hair. Comes out and then kind of folds down, bumps down, like sort of steps down that way. Okay, and then the other side, we can see some hair coming out from here. Like so. Okay. Again, no ear in here. Well, we'll draw in the ear. I know I said it's easier to leave a gap, but just so I know I get the ear in the right place, I'm going to draw in the ear. So let's go. So we'll go out, down this way. That goes in, and we'll try and line it up so sort of in line with the nose. So we'll go the top of the nose just here. Like that. that. Okay, so we've got a general idea now of where his ear is, and then there's a finger that comes across that. So we'll add just a little bit of his hoodie here. Some of this is covered by the hand as well, so you don't see it all. Right, so we'll go this far. Right, now we'll do the hand. So hands are tricky. They're not easy. So especially a hand like that's like in this loose sort of position, like it's like that. So pause a lot, take your time, right? So it's as big as his whole face. That's the first thing to remember. It's as long as his face, right? So we're starting, so it's here, right? So we'll do the index finger. Right, curves in here, and we'll erase this line after. So that comes down this way, down like so, right? And you, in general, you have 3 segments in your fingers, right? You have 1, 2, and a third. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 3 segments. 1, 2, 3. You know, 2 joints. That's break your finger up into 3 parts. You know, and they can have lines like that on it. Okay. So that's the size of his fingers. So then the finger, the bottom of his hand, right, goes down like all the way to like here. Okay, so like, you know, those bumpy sort of parts of the hand, right down there. It's like a sort of a W sort of shape, right? So that goes all the way down to there. So like the index finger is that again. And then the whole thing is like nearly the size of his face, right? So that's how big we're going for. So then that comes up to there. And his thumb, we'll do his thumb first. So it's down here on the right hand side. So we just bump down there. And then his thumb comes up, bends here. Just one joint on the thumb. Sticks out a little bit, comes down. And around and joins this area there. And get some lines for folds just there. And then we do the next finger. So these 2 fingers sticking up and the others curled down. So we go 1 segment, 2 segment, and this one bent over a little bit. 3rd segment, top of his finger. And then the knuckle sticks out like that, change direction down there. And like another sort of skin line, right? So 2 fingers bent towards us now, right? So top knuckle here, bring it down, around. 1, 2, and the 3rd segment is behind. Okay. And then fingernail, like so. And this comes up, over, down, this comes around the bottom. This is his little finger now, it's pinky. And then this comes up, down to there. Down. And he does have a fingernail in here as well. Like so. Skin line, side of his hand, 2 bumps. Just down there. And then we have his hand lines here. Lines like so. And his wrist sticks out. Comes down there. Wrist on the other side, down here. Wrist bone there. Wrist bone there. Like so. And his jacket sleeve just there. And then the rest of his hoodie underneath. And okay, so in terms of details, we've got like some blood right? So we'll just draw it in lightly, sort of coming down in his hand. It's like running down from a cut in his hand, you know, sort of kind of flowing. It's like he's cut straight along here, I think, and then it kind of flows down his hand like this. And this is all red inside. Dark red. So we'll just draw it in just so you have an idea where it, because how it flows, you know, how blood flows down an object, you know, it is tricky to draw, I guess. The object being the hand, obviously. Okay, and then that's all like dark red inside. But I think that is everything, finally. How to draw Eren Yeager from, oh wait, bit of his ear lines just in here. Like so, and it's got some of that hatching and maybe like a hairline, and I'll just erase that line as well. Okay, now that's everything. Hope it's helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.